Right, it's a pleasure now to introduce the head prefect, Stephan Krugel, to come and address us. He's a Matheson boy, and I tell you, I don't think there's a person in this room that would have wanted his gig this year. I'm told by the masters at the table and many others that you did an admirable job, and in a most becoming way, did all sorts of things that creatively supported the school and broader society, and that your contribution is very significant. And thank you very much for that. He would have been a first-team rugby player this year, of course, a first-team rugby player before, sang in the school choir, and of course did at least get an athletics meet at the start of the year, where you participated in discus and shot put, and Keaton tells me you're quite good, so that says something. So, Stephan, we look forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you very much.
Good evening, gentlemen. Just before I start, I'd like to give you some very, very important news. So, at this current moment, Donald Trump is busy losing the American election against Joe Biden, but just let's leave that. More important news is Boys Eye is still having the lead against Affies. My name is Stephan Krugel, and I had the privilege of being the head prefect this year for a very exciting and historical year. And one thing that I have definitely learned is that you must never take anything for granted. We ended on a high last year with the Whitecaps winning the Pretoria Cup, the Candies beating Affies at Brooks at the end of a very successful season, the choir placed second in a national event, and the pipe band receiving Champions of the Champions Award. There was a lot of hope for this year to come. People were more prepared. The boys actually really wanted to be known as a boy who partakes in the best school in the world, and they were willing to take part in it and make it even better. For example, at the start of 2020, the rugby season, Mr. Anthony had a big problem. A record number of 151 Form 1 boys pitched up to the rugby trials. In the other age groups, the numbers were growing so well that Mr. Anthony had a problem with too little space. I mean, how ironic. We have all the fields here at the school. He organized a minimum of 14 games for every team to make sure everyone got a time in the jersey. And he organized big games for the first team against schools like Paul Boys Eye. And we were invited to the World Rugby Festival that was supposed to be held at Affies this year. At least we played one game against Paul Jim, and that was the end of it. This preparation was evident all over the school. In March, the Red Sox had an exciting match against a skilled Old Boys side for the opening match for the new Astro. The hockey season was cut short by the worldwide pandemic after the first Pretoria Cup hosted by the Boys Eye community. Even on the cultural field, we were looking forward to a lot. We had an annual cafe concert this year, and we even had an extra special night for Mr. Reela for his farewell. But after the first night, Cyril announced that we'll have to stay at home now, and the whole thing was cancelled. An announcement which changed the entire Boys Eye. Some events before COVID seemed like it was from another year. The announcement by Mr. Ramaphosa on the night of the 23rd of 2020 marked the start of a new interesting time for the life at Boys Eye. To be honest, it was sometimes really challenging, and even some days daunting. Heraclitus once said that the only constant in life is that of change. We went into lockdown unsure of what would happen the next day. We started with our online work, which was already set up, leaving us miles ahead of some of our rival schools. As teachers had to discover the new world of teaching online, boys had to discover how to embrace the new way of learning without teachers checking on them. The discipline instilled in us by the school was now put to test. We truly learned the 4 core values: honor, respect, integrity, and loyalty, even though we were not at school. After 2 months of hard lockdown, the matric group was divided into a School A and School B, which alternated attending school. In every class, there was a space open in front of you, behind you, and even next to you. The school day was a little bit longer, so when you finished school, you were so tired that you just dived straight into your bed and only woke up 2 days later to come back to school. We had a few assemblies, and the first attempt was that of the farewell of Mr. Reeler, when we decided to pick the coldest day in the year to go sit on Brooks and bid farewell to Mr. Reeler. He had his first and last walk under the flag. It was also the only time that the matric group had the opportunity to hold the flag at Brooks. Later on, we had 1 or 2 assemblies in the hall, and you didn't have anyone sitting around you in a radius of about 2 meters. I would like to congratulate the school. We are the largest boys' school in the country. We took charge in the way we managed the school concerning the number of boys that could attend every single day. We had our entire school attending before some other schools had their grade 10s back at school. I'm proud of this because if you look at the number of positive cases at Boys Eye, it is still way lower than some of those other schools. During this weird time, there was no extramural activities, so clubs, sport teams and bands took charge and made some remarkable videos of this unforgettable year. If you have seen these videos, you will know that they are of good quality and deep, meaningful conversations or messages. I was walking through the foyer the other day, and I noticed that on almost every single board next to the year 2020, there's a dash. For the past 4 years, there were so many boys that were dreaming of having their names next to some of those people like John Smith or Chris Morris. Even though this did not happen, I can guarantee you that everyone in this school learned how to manage their time properly, learned the true meaning of discipline and integrity. I can happily say that there is still enough bricks in the main school building to make this the greatest school in the world. The most important thing that I think we learned is that you must never take anything for granted. You never know when it will be your last. This weird year definitely made the Boys Eye boys stronger than ever before. Even if there was no sport, cultural events, or limited physical class time, the Boys Eye boys still remained well-mannered and on top of it all. In fact, the Boys Eye boys showed that they are more than just good marks and proper manners. Every boy learned that nothing is for sure, and you must never take anything for granted. You decide where you want to be tomorrow. It is up to you. William Ernest Henley wrote a poem called Invictus. The last 2 lines in this poem, I feel we can relate to it as a Boys Eye community, and it reads as follows. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Thank you very much.